The views and opinions expressed on this program are not those of Norfolk State University or WNSB-FM. Thank you for listening. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now. Oh, yes. And I'm so excited about this topic because, you know, it's a hot one, and everybody loves hot topics, especially Hampton Roads. So today we are talking about Colin Kaepernick. Okay, so this episode is entitled Free Agent, and that's exactly what the man is right now. He's out here free. And if you've been following, you kind of know why, and we're going to get into that. But yeah, if you are an avid listener of this show, we definitely welcome phone calls. We welcome Facebook and Twitter comments. You can follow along and, ask your questions and your comments on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag HRV. But we definitely want those phone calls. So give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. If you've been having so much to say about the Colin Kaepernick controversy and you want to just let it all out, this is the platform for you. You are safe, okay? And of course, like every week, I have special guest experts here who know about football, who have lived football on some sort of level. We have Noel Clark on the phone. He's going to be our phone-in guest for today. He's former 2013-2014 starter of the Norfolk State University football team. Yes, behold, Go Spartans. And
all the green and gold.
Yes, and he's a current arena professional football player for the Vermont Bucks. So hey, Noel.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being on the show. Also in the studio with me, I have Shaka Miller here. He's the former assistant head coach for Kingsport High School varsity football, and they were winning games when he was there. No shade.
Yes.
Hey, hey, Shaka.
Hey, how y'all doing, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yeah, so I hope you fellas are ready to talk. We are definitely ready to talk. So kind of backstory here. I'm going to try my very best because I am not a football fan. However, I am a Black people fan, if you will. So, Colin Kaepernick began taking a knee during the National Anthem right before NFL games that he was playing in on the 49ers as a quarterback. And he said in many press conferences that he was taking a knee and kneeling during the national anthem because he didn't agree with the lyrics that were in the song, which suggested racism, against African Americans and slavery and things of that nature. And he also said that he was taking a knee to show, to bring awareness to and to also protest the abrupt spike increase, if you will, of police brutality against African Americans across the country. Now, after that, it set ablaze all types of controversy about how he shouldn't be doing that shouldn't be in football. What else people were saying? All kind of crazy stuff. Oh, he's disrespecting veterans. He's disrespecting our country. Everything like that. So fast forward, now that it's time to resign and, the off season, he has been unsuccessful in finding another team to sign him. And he's basically being blackballed in the NFL at the moment. So some people are for his decision. Some people are not for his decision. Some people say, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this ain't the way to do it. It's different opinions. And this is where you come in, Hampton Roads. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from your opinion. What do you think? Do you think Colin Kaepernick was justified in what he's doing? Do you agree with his protest? Let's hear from you. 823-9110, 823-9110. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive headfirst into this conversation. All right? It is Hot 91, Hampton Roads Voices, Free Agent. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now, and today's episode is entitled Free Agent. Free Agent. We are talking about the Colin Kaepernick controversy, everything that goes into it, the Star Spangled Banner, the veterans, the NFL, what the players should be doing, everything. We're going to dive into it, okay? So this is where we want to hear your opinion, Hampton Roads. 823-9110, 823-9110 to get your thoughts in, even if you're not a football fan, okay? I'm not a football fan, but hey, I'm a fan of what's right and what's wrong. So if you are a fan of what's right and what's wrong, we want to hear from you. Also on Facebook and Twitter, get your thoughts and your comments in using the hashtag HRV. I do have special guest experts here. Shaka Miller is here. He's the former assistant head coach for Kingsport High School varsity football. And I also have Noel Clark here, former starter for Norfolk State University football and a current arena professional football player. All right. So fellas, I want to hear your opinions, okay? Can you tell me, how do you feel about the Colin Kaepernick controversy? Tell me your thoughts. We can start with Noel. Go ahead, Noel.
How you doing? Personally, I think you being blackballed. Like, I was kind of like iffy about it at first, but when I seen Nick Cutler get signed the other day, I mean, like, if anybody knows football, you know.
You must be going into a real messed up area, Noel. So we're gonna let you roll through that road right quick, and we're gonna pass it to Shaka. Go ahead, Shaka. How do you feel about Colin?
Well, personally, like Noel was beginning to say, initially I just wanted to see how the situation was going to play out. But after noticing several other quarterbacks that's not at his level, even his caliber, are getting signed to nice deals, it's starting to really be evident that he's actually being blackballed in the NFL. And in my opinion, it's mainly due to publicity and revenue at the end of the day. A lot of teams are afraid that if they take on Colin Kaepernick, that they're going to lose funds because, you know, it comes down to a racial thing. And right now, the majority of the fans are of the Caucasian race. So if you lose that support from those individuals, then you're going to be losing some revenue. And at the end of the day, the NFL is a business and they in the business of making money. So if you're going to hurt my inline, I got to be a little suspicious of you. So that's where we at with this.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Noel.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, another thing that was messing him up is the fact that he's mainly going to be a backup right now in the NFL. So with him being a backup, an owner's not going to want to deal with, you know, things that you'll probably deal with a superstar athlete, dealing with like a backup and all, you know, negative publicity that a team will get. So I think that's another factor of what's going on with him not getting signed. But,
okay. How do you feel, Hampton Rose? Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. Now, the original debate was the Star Spangled Banner. That's what people were saying. How can he kneel to the Star Spangled Banner? That's the national anthem. And, yeah or no? How do you feel? Shaka said that he was going to educate us on the Star Spangled Banner. Go ahead and drop your knowledge, sir.
Well, in regards to that, Kaepernick basically said that he didn't agree with the lyrics in the Star Spangled Banner. And over the years, there's been getting a lot of backlash as being racist for the simple fact that when the Star Spangled Banner was written, it was actually during a time where blacks wasn't considered free. So if I'm supporting a Star Spangled Banner saying it's for the land of the free, and I'm not included in that category of being free, then how am I to support the Star Spangled Banner? Also, most people don't even know that there's more to the Star Spangled Banner than just the part that's sung at the games. There's actually 4 stanzas. And then the third stanza, he actually references the blacks that went and fought for the British in the war, where he was basically saying, oh, what happened to you slaves that was fighting against us? Look at you now, your foul pollution, et cetera, et cetera. So when you look at it from that context and seeing what's going on in the media today with the social injustices, you understand where Kaepernick is coming from. How am I to support something that's going against the multitude of everyone? If I'm saying we're here for everyone and for free and justice for all, but yet in the media is only portraying one side actually receiving these benefits, then I understand where he's coming from wholeheartedly.
How about you, Noel? Do you understand where he's coming from with that?
Yeah, I definitely understand where he's coming from. And, like, another thing that a lot of people didn't hear about is the military, not really, the actual military veterans, they weren't really upset at him because that's what they fought for, the freedom of speech, freedom of, like, choice, doing what you want to do. So I feel like it was people like the old school people, like, you know, older white people that was upset about him taking the knee, you know, unfortunately. But the actual military veterans weren't really upset at him because that's what they, you know, served the military for us to have our freedom of speech and, you know, to choice to do what we want to do.
Right. Freedom of expression. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. And we do have a couple calls. Let's put the first one through. Hi, 91. You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Casey Suffolk. I just want to say Colin Kaepernick is doing what he do. We need to stop talking about it and join in. As long as we keep talking about it as people, all we're going to do is escalate what he does, and we're going to keep him out of work. Stop talking about it and let the man get his money.
Okay. So you are for him and what he's doing?
Yeah, I'm for what he's doing, but I just don't like when people keep talking about it and talking about it. Nobody's doing nothing to support him. They just talking about it. And as long as you keep talking about it, then the NFL, they're gonna be like, oh, he's not gonna win because everybody else is on his side. So they're gonna keep fighting him. They're gonna keep pushing against him. If we just support him and stop talking about it and just go do what he's doing, if we support it, it will be good. That's really all I got to say.
All right.
I'm getting ready to go out. I'm getting ready to go out and take a knee.
All right. Thank you for your comment, sir.
All right.
And we do have another call. Let's see who it is. Hot 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is April.
Hey, April.
How are you?
Good. What's your comment, question, or concern?
I'm standing behind Colin. I agree with him. What I don't understand is people protesting the NFL. He wasn't protesting the NFL. He was protesting the Star-Spangled Banner. So I want to know if people are going to take a knee when that song come on at other events. Are they going to support him that way? Because boycotting the NFL is not going to do it.
Well, actually, other sports have also took a stand with Kaepernick. I remember it was a soccer player, female soccer player. She actually took a knee during one of her games, and what they ended up doing was they stopped playing, letting the teams come out and started playing the national anthem before the teams came out of the locker room, so that she couldn't express herself and take a knee. And she said she was doing it because she was a homosexual female, and that they're facing the same injustices as the blacks are. So there are other sports that are taking a part in what Colin has started. But like the last guy said, it all comes down to action. You know, we can talk about this and talk about this, but until we take a stand and actually produce something, then nothing will ever change, because people are aware of the situation. But until someone actually take the initiative to actually do something, then we're going to be continuing to talk about this for years and years to come.
Also, April, I think people are, they're so ready to protest the NFL because of them not really wanting to take Colin Kaepernick in. I know if you've been following, and not just to April, but for everybody who's a little bit confused, it's time to re-sign. And a lot of teams, well, a couple teams have, expressed their interest in signing Kaepernick, but a couple of owners, who, let's be real, they lack color in ownership in NFL, have come and kind of told the coaches and the teams, hey, we don't sign him. Now, there's some of the teams are saying, and the team owners are saying, we're doing this because it's bad publicity, and they've been getting so many threats and things that people will not buy season tickets, and they'll lose a lot of money. But at the end of the day, it's looking like, it appears to be that they're making an example of Colin Kaepernick. You're not going to come out and make a stance about social justice issues. And if you do, look, players, this is what will happen. We're going to make an example out of this man. So this is why, some people are looking to protest the NFL.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, April. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, moving forward. Noel, I'm sorry. Did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with what Shaka was saying. That's what we did right now. As far as like protesting, and I don't see anything wrong with it personally. Like, I mean, if you're not harming anybody physically, if you're just expressing like, okay, I don't agree with you, so I'm not gonna give this for my money, or any services like that. Like, I don't see anything wrong. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Right. Okay, so we kind of touched on why it appears why he's being blackballed in the NFL. But when we return, I'm going to play a clip from Undisputed. That is a TV show on ESPN, right? Shaka, help me out.
Yes.
Okay. And Steve Bisciotti, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, and he kind of explains why he didn't, the Ravens didn't want to take on Colin Kaepernick. And then, of course, Shannon Sharp, a sports commentator, had to say what he had to say. So I need you to sit back and turn your radios up, keep it locked right here. And I also need you to pick up your phones. Go ahead and get your opinions in. How do you feel about this Colin Kaepernick controversy? Are you with him? Are you without him? And if you are with him, why? And if you are not standing with him, tell me why. That is as well, okay? 823-9110, 823-9110, or use the hashtag HRV on Facebook and Twitter. It's Hot 81 Hampton Roads Voices, free agent. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B. So we're having such a good time off the air that we didn't even notice the song was off. Okay. So before I got off the air, I said that we were going to be jumping into what Steve Berchiotti, excuse me if I'm butchering his name, but he is the owner of the Baltimore Ravens. His reasoning for why he didn't pick up, Colin Kaepernick, even after showing, the coaches were showing interest in signing a contract with him. And then also right directly after is Shannon Sharp's reply from the show Undisputed. Okay, take a listen.
Quantify hurting the brand. I know that we're going to upset some people, and I know that we're going to make people happy that we stood up for somebody that has the right to do what he did. You know, nonviolent protesting is something that we've all embraced. I don't like the way he did it. Personally, I kind of liked it a lot when he went from sitting to kneeling. I don't know. I'm Catholic. We spend a lot of time kneeling. We're very sensitive to it, and we're monitoring it, and we're still, as Ozzy says, scrimmaging it, and we're trying to figure out what's the right tact, and so. Pray for us. We do want to win games, and I'm not sure right now that he is going to help us do that.
Shannon, what's your take?
I know Steve. I don't know him as well as I knew Art Modell. But let me take this. Okay. He said he liked when Colin went from sitting to kneeling.
First he said he didn't like what he did.
He didn't like what he did. Okay. Right. But then he said, Skip, he liked it better when he went from sitting to kneeling.
Yep.
But he never mentioned why Colin Kaepernick kneeled. See, he said, and we didn't mention it here, he says, if you don't think, he said, well, I don't know if Colin can help us win games. If you don't think he can help you win games, there's nothing else to discuss.
No.
You don't need to talk to sponsors. You don't need to talk to Joe Flacco. You don't need to talk to Ray Lewis. You don't think he can help you win a ball game in the discussion. You believe the guy that you have, Ryan Mallett, who threw 5 interceptions, that's neither here nor there, Skip. You believe if Joe Flacco is down for a substantial amount of time, you do not believe Colin Kaepernick can help you win a game, Skip. What's the discussion? Why are we talking to sponsors? Let me ask you a question. This is what I want Mr. Bishotti to answer me. He has my number. He can call me. In 2010, they signed one Dante Stallworth. Dante Stallworth was intoxicated, drove his vehicle, and killed a pedestrian. Did he call any fan? Did he call any sponsor? Did he talk to Ray Lewis? When Terrell Suggs went through what he went through with his wife, did he call any sponsors? Did he call any fans? Did he talk to Ray Lewis about how and what they should do with this situation?
Very good.
I find it very, very convenient. Now he wants to lean on someone. Now, I don't know if Mr. Steve, I don't call him Mr. I call him Steve. Steve is a very smart man. And I don't equate smart just because you have a lot of money, because sometimes you can inherit money and doesn't make you smart. Steve Bishotti rolled up his sleeves and he got his money the old-fashioned way. He earned it. So he's a very smart man. Steve Bishotti is the owner of the Ravens that play in Baltimore. Does he know what the ratio is with the African-American population in Baltimore? 63%. Did something happen in 2015, Skip? The Baltimore Orioles played a game in the day in which no fans were allowed to come. Does Steve know why they did that? Because there was a young man named by the name of Freddie Gray that was killed at the hands of the police. The very thing that Colin Kaepernick was protesting was the very thing that our President of the United States on Friday encouraged, which was police brutality. I have yet to hear an owner. I have yet to hear a sponsor. I have yet to hear a fan speak out and says, how could the President of the United States encourage such said violence? While the man that protested and tried to bring light to it is demonized, is scoffed upon. Skip, I'm going to need you to explain, break this down in the simplest forms. And Skip, I want you to explain it to me if I was 8. They're talking about Colin Kaepernick like he killed someone, like he killed something, like he abused someone, like he took someone's property. Skip, they're having these meetings with sponsors and fans and Ray Lewis. And I know what people are saying. People are like, you asking Ray? Skip, I was with Ray. A lot of what Ray went through, I was there. When Ray's going to court, the trial in Atlanta, who picked him up every day to go work out? And even I said, look here, stop paying all that money, living in a hotel. Come stay with me. When the trial was over, Ray and I went and ran together. He and I lifted together. We spent a lot of time at my kitchen bar telling him how I think he should do things and how he should move forward. I said, because Ray, I'm closer to the end than the beginning. But what I want you to do, and I want you to be able to do, is to share some of the things that I'm giving you, and you can pass that along the line. But we keep talking about, Miss Steve said the prayer, he's Catholic, the kneeling. But when will these owners ever address the issue that led Colin to do what he did? Skip, I cannot believe that some of these owners are putting Colin Kaepernick in the same boat as an abuser, a murderer, a guy that killed dogs, a guy that took someone's property. Skip, I don't get it. And no owner yet. All they keep talking about, he disrespected the flag. Oh, he disrespected the veterans. I have yet to hear an owner say what Colin Kaepernick is protesting is absolutely right. I don't agree with what he's doing and how he's doing it. But the police brutality against unarmed black and brown women and men in America is wrong. When they start doing that, I will take them serious. And until then, all you careful about is the status quo, because something that will never, ever affect you directly, you have no issue. You have no.
All right. There you go. So, before we get off the air, I told you that was an excerpt from Undisputed, a show that comes on ESPN, and the first voice that you heard was Steve Burkhardt, excuse me. He's the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, in the NFL, and he was saying why he didn't think it was a wise choice to bring on Colin Kaepernick. And then you heard the reply from Stephen Sharp on Undisputed. All right, I want to hear from my special guest experts, Noel, Shaka. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I personally agree with Shannon 100%, man. Like, it's sad. Like, it's really sad. Like, they really treating my dog Colin Kaepernick like he murdered somebody, like he committed a crime. All he did was literally did a peaceful protest, and he's treated like a villain. You know, he's demonized. Like, I completely agree with him at the end of the day, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, Shaka?
Yeah, agree. Shannon Sharp hit it right on the head, hit the nail right on the head. And as far as Steve, what he was saying and what Shannon came back and stated, that at the end of the day, football is all about winning games. Winning games, the more games you win, the more fans you have, the more money you make. So if the situation is about us winning football games, why are we talking about Kaepernick's protest? It shouldn't have even been a discussion in that press conference. At the end of the day, if he can't help us win games, we don't want him. If he can, we do. But him bringing up the statements about what he did in last season lets you know that there is conversation about the stigmatism that's going to come behind him and what he's going to bring to an organization, and if an organization is willing to take that into consideration when they bring him in. And another thing I like that Shannon said, being in Baltimore where the population is 63% African American, bringing Kaepernick in would have been an ideal situation, because you would have had a whole community rallying behind an individual that's fighting for them. So when you really weigh the pros and cons for the Ravens, there was actually more pros than there was cons, because he would have actually been tapping into a population of individuals that he might not have reached, because you didn't have that African-American support, the people that was fighting for them in the media. A lot of people say he shouldn't have used the game as his platform, but I question and say, why not? If you're in a position where people are following you and listening to you, why not take advantage of that opportunity to reach more people? If he would have sent out a tweet, I would have missed it. I would have never seen it. I don't go on Twitter. But because he did it at the game, then it was known. And what's really ironic about it is when he first sat down, a lot of people didn't even notice that he sat down during the preseason game. A lot of people didn't notice until like it was 3 games in that Kaepernick was sitting down during the national anthem. And then eventually somebody seen a photo and was like, oh, hey, this guy's sitting down. And then when it all came about, there's people starting to miss the purpose of him actually sitting and then therefore kneeling. And the purpose was to shine light on the social injustice, not to shun the flag or the veterans or what everybody else is saying. It's simply to shine light on the social injustices. And with that being said, people are trying to make him out to be a villain and put him in the category of with these killers and dog killers and everyone else. But yet when you really look at it is when someone's following the law and doing what they're supposed to, they're actually penalized worse than the individuals that's violating the law. You have people, domestic violence, like you said, Stallworth killed somebody, DUI, got off, spent some money, he's out. Kaepernick can't even get a job. So it's amusing, and even with people saying about the veterans is actually the one that told him that he should take a knee. So when Shannon Sharpe made the reference about he didn't even say why he was taking a knee, that's what he was making a reference to. Kaepernick actually had a conversation with some veterans that actually played football, and they said we would actually respect it more if you actually took a knee rather than sitting. Because when you take a knee, you're still showing honor, but yet you're still showing people, hey, I'm not going to support this wholeheartedly because I don't agree with everything it stands for.
Yeah. I think it was a very honorable way to protest. He could have did a whole lot of ignorant things. He could have did a lot of ignorant stuff, okay? We've seen people of color, well, let's be real, because Hampton Roads Voices is all about being real. We've seen black people protest in a very unruly way, and we say to ourselves, why, you know, that's not going to get anything done. You know, loitering and looting and stealing stuff and destroying our property in our own communities. But that man took a knee, and that started all of this. We do have a few phone calls. Let's get to the phones. Hi, 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
Larry.
Hey, you said Mari with the M?
No, Larry with the L.
Larry with the L. What's your comment, question, or concern, Larry?
Yes, I'm a 49ers fan ever since 1977, and it's very sad the way they treated Kaepernick and the NFL, how they treating him. It shows separatism to me for the NFL, you know, and he didn't do nothing bad at all. I mean, hey, I feel the same way you feel, you know, because things that's happening in America it's not fair, and it's seen all over America. So at least he's trying to make a stand in something, and he's getting blackballed behind him.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, you're welcome.
We do have another call. Hi, 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
Gayla.
Gayla?
Gayla.
Oh, okay. I still didn't hear you. I'm sorry. But
it's Dayla. D-A-A, Dayla.
Oh,
like
okay.
Dayla, come in, I want to go home.
Gotcha. All right, Dayla. Dayla Soul. Gotcha. All right.
Dayla Soul. Yeah, that too.
What's your question, comment, or concern, Dayla?
I stand behind Kaepernick 120%. And I won't watch the NFL. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to cancel my NFL package that I got through DirecTV because I'm retired military. I'm retired Chief Petty Officer in the Navy.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yes.
And by me being a veteran now, and I had just retired when he started doing it, I don't have a problem with him sitting, standing, doing cartwheels. I don't care about that because I didn't enlist for a song. I didn't enlist for anything other than to defend the right for you and myself and my family to have freedom to do what they want to do. And the social injustices that he's protesting against, and I support that because it's wrong. And, you know, the media, they need to knock it off and stop trying to portray him as this and that and all this, and he's sitting down or he's kneeling. Who cares? Pay attention to the bigger picture. You know, I don't feel no disrespect. I never felt any disrespect when athletes did what they did during the anthem. Who cares? It's a song. It's a racist song. I knew it was a racist song. A lot of people never knew that song was a racist song until he did that, and then people started looking and was like, oh, there's more words to this song. Oh, that's messed up. But people didn't know that until he started doing it and speaking about the song and then putting them two pieces together about the social injustices. Hey, if he's opening up people's eyes and the NFL doesn't like it, that's unfortunate and it's sad. And I'm a big Steelers fan, and I would love for the Steelers because they always seem to do stuff like that, like take players or stuff like that. And I would love for that organization to take it, but I know they're not because they have a veteran on their team. So in the NFL, they all about that money. So it is what it's going to be, and it's unfortunate and it's sad. And you got Michael Vicks in there, and you got the Ray Lewises, and you got all these other people. Dallas got a whole team full of crooks. and Dallas is America's team, but they can come through the airport with marijuana and guns and kill everybody, but they want to call them the America's team. But it is what it is, and it's unfortunate and it's sad, but I hope that, he gets signed by somebody, and I hope he goes out there and plays, and I hope he still kneels. I hope he does whatever. When I go to a sports game now, even though I am a veteran, I sit and people look at me. They call out, at the games they call for veterans to stand up. I stand up. I say, I stand up because they're asking me to. But then when they start playing the song, I sit back down. They don't even look at me. Like, hey, I'm not about this song. This song is racist. So I'll stand behind him, and anybody that's around me when we had these conversations, they're either with me or against me.
Right. Well, thank you, Dayla. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I think that really sets it's really sad to say, because we want to believe in the American dream. And I'm not saying that America is not a wonderful country. We all know America is one of the best countries in the world. However, America tends to try to make those who've been oppressed since the beginning of the nation forget that we weren't considered much. We were considered the scum of the earth for a long time. And then, they try to cover it up and say, hey, you're not going to bring that back up to me. It's kind of like, even though we did you wrong, we don't want to hear about it. We know that. Move on, move forward. And I always say, America is relatively young, if you will. When we look at the different kingdoms that's been around forever, Egypt has been around, the United Kingdom, of course, has been around longer. Spain, these types of countries have been around, and here go little young America, and we're, those same ideals and the policies that we used to construct this country a very short while ago, the wounds are still there and they barely have healed. So if we're trying to heal and we're just saying, hey, we don't like what's taking place in our country, because this is our country as well, it's like some people, and I'm not going to put that issue on a particular race of people, but some people are like, hey, we don't need to hear that. And maybe you do, because it's still happening. We do have one more call. Let's see who's on the air. Hot 81, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
You speaking with Ricky from Suffolk.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, y'all?
oh, hey, Ricky. This is my cousin-in-law, everybody. Share your question, comment, or concern, Ricky.
Yeah, my thing is, just like what y'all going over, the players, some more players need to step up with him, because he made a very positive stand, and pretty much the players, just like a slap in our face with the NFL players not having Kaepernick back. They are saying, hey, I got mine, you get yours, but hey, oh well, I'll just do what Master say. Hey, I'm glad I play football, but you got to think about it. You got little boys and girls, just like you say in Baltimore. Hey, it happened up there. It's time to make a stand. Kaepernick stood up for us. Let's show these people that we got their back too. We just not here just to make millions of dollars, but we also want to be in their lives, and we want to entertain also with them too. So, I'm for Kaepernick, and I just think the NFL players need to get behind them some more.
Well said, Ricky. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think this was a really good time for the NFL to really say, hey, you can have a stance. We love the game. We love the money. But, we allow our players to have a stance about what's going on in our country. Now, that clip that we played, I want to know from Noel and from Shaka, as far as, oh, Lord, I forgot what the man said. What he was talking about. I'm going to get my thoughts together and we going to come on back, because I just had a brain fart. It happens. Give us a call, because I want to hear your comments, your questions, your concerns. Hampton Roads, 823-9110, 823-9110. And share your stance on it. Are you with Colin Kaepernick? Are you not with him? What do you think we should do as just innocent bystanders or fans, what can we do to rally behind him and, have our voices heard? 823-9110, 823-9110 is Hampton Roads Voices, Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul, Hampton Roads Voices. Today's episode is entitled Free Agent, and we are talking about Colin Kaepernick and the controversy that is surrounding him currently, all right? We have special guest experts here. Noel Clark, he is a former NSU starter on the football team, for 2013 and 2014. He started for NSU. And also right now, currently, he's an arena professional football player for the Vermont Bucks. We also have Shaka Miller. Can't read. Shaka Miller here. He's a former assistant head coach for Kings Sports High School varsity football, and they have been really leading the conversation. And so I remember exactly what I was going to say before. Oh, and before I get into that conversation, I want to hear from you, Hampton Roads. It is called Hampton Roads Voices, and we want to hear your voice. 823-9110. Do you think that Colin Kaepernick was justified in how he used his platform to protest his issues? I want to know. Yes? No? This is a safe place. You can disagree. You can agree. 823-9110. Now, we heard Steve Brichetti's reasoning for why they did not take Colin Kaepernick onto the Baltimore Ravens. He is the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, and he said what he said. Now, do you think, Noel and Shaka, do you think that is a justified answer, that they may lose funds, that they don't need that bad branding or that bad marketing tool and all that baggage that Colin Kaepernick will be coming with? Do you think that's a legitimate reason, or do you think it's something else?
Absolutely not. I don't think it's a legitimate reason at all. If you go back to what Shaka said about just if they need a community, what Shaka said, it being a 60%, African American community. He would know that those people would rally behind him, and, they would probably get more sales on tickets. There's going to be people that backlash, but ultimately, the overall outcome would be, that the African-American community of Baltimore surrounding him, rallying behind him. So I don't think that's the reason why at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not a legitimate reason for actually not giving a guy a contract when the ultimate goal is to win games and win championship. But from being a business major, I understand his reasoning. Because like I said before, also, the NFL is a business at the end of the day. And he's afraid that those season ticket holders, those booth owners, are gonna back out and lose their money. He's basically saying when he makes that statement, I don't really care about the little people. I really want to keep my big endorsers, the guys that's going to buy the booth, going to buy the box seats, going to buy the champagne at the games and all these things. So is he justified in that reasoning? Yes. But at the end of the day, we're about winning games. And if you're a true Baltimore fan, which I'm not, unless Charles Clark makes the team, you're about winning games. And right now, Mallett will not get the job done. A lot of people say Kaepernick had a bad year. The man threw 16 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Number 6 in the league as far as interception percentage ratio. So when you look at the numbers, he's still a high caliber player, and you have other guys that's horrible actually getting contracts over him. You got McCoy and Cutler just signed a major contract in Miami, but yet the guy that's actually producing can't even land a contract. So Steve's justification, it does not fit this specific topic here. If he would have said something more about he's not making plays or
right.
He's in that aspect, I understand. But simply saying it's about the money, I can't really support him as a fan of football.
Mm-hmm. And we do have some calls. Let's see. Hot 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Derek from Virginia Beach.
All right, Derek. Can you share your question, comment, or concern?
Yeah, just have a comment. One, I'm also a veteran. And there was absolutely no offense in what he did. It is what veterans serve for, to protect your right to protest. But also, I think what individual citizens and these business owners have to ask themselves, at the end of the day, what side of history do you want to be remembered on? You have to think back. Nelson Mandela was considered a terrorist. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, they were troublemakers. Even some of our own black people stood against them. Joe Louis came out against Muhammad Ali, said, man, you should have just went to Vietnam. Now, look at the status of these people that they hated so much back then. So history is going to, your kids and grandkids are going to ask you one day, when this happened, where were you? Where did you stand? And that's what people need to think about.
I like that. And also, thank you for your service.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too. We're going to keep those calls going. 823-9110, 823-9110. Hello? They hung up. All right. But Noel's still on the phone. Yeah. I like that. What part of history were you? Oh, no. Are they on the phone? Okay. My bad. My intern said you on the phone. Hot 921, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Sharena.
Hey, Sharena. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Yes, I'm with him 100%. I think all us Hebrews should be pulling with him. All of us. Everyone need to be boycotting with him. He hasn't did anything wrong. If a lot of us stand behind him and stop being coons, they'll understand what's going on. Unless we stop looking what else everybody else is not focusing on what's right, the big picture is right now, he would never ever have a lot of us behind him if we stop being coons.
All right.
We have to stop.
Thank you for your comment.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and I think Shannon Sharpe has said before that the NFL has to remember that they have black fans too. So in the same light, if we're going to take that same light as far as we want to keep the people who's buying the booth, we want to keep the people who's buying the skyboxes or in the skyboxes that's popping their champagne, that's paying the most money in the NFL. So those people are in favor of not supporting Colin Kaepernick. What about the people that are? So are we just going to disregard the part of the fans or the fan base that support Colin Kaepernick? You know, so you have to think about things of that nature. And if you're worried about losing money to the people who are not standing or supporting with Colin Kaepernick, what about you maybe popping champagne and selling those booths and all that stuff for people who say, you know what, I like what they just did. I like what the Baltimore Ravens just did or the Miami Dolphins just did. I'm about to buy a booth. I'm about to buy all of it. You know, you never know what kind of business opportunities or money that might be coming your way because you took a stand for what's right. So yeah, we want to keep those calls going. Like I said, 823-9110. Let's see what we're going to do. We'll ask one more question and then we'll take another quick break. Okay. So Michael Vick. All right. He said something recently. He sat down on Undisputed and he shared his opinion about it. Of course, he said Colin Kaepernick is a great kid and blah, blah, blah. But one of the things that set the internet ablaze and set the media ablaze is when he suggested that Colin should cut his hair, because Colin has an afro right now. He should cut his hair, first of all, in looking for a job to come off as more presentable, or he needs to braid it down. What do you guys take on that?
I think Michael Vick, I think he just made a mistake as far as comparing his situation with what happened with what's happening right now with Colin Kaepernick. You know, I mean, usually, you know, when somebody get in trouble with the law, you know, they want to cut their hair if they have dreads or braids or whatever. They want to get that clean cut. But in this situation, it's totally different. Like, he didn't commit any crime. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going in front of a judge. He's not getting prosecuted. He's not on trial. So, you know what I mean? I know everybody was upset with Michael Vick, but I think what he was doing was comparing his situation with him being in trouble and trying to get a job in the NFL again with his, when it's two totally different situations.
Agreed. The statement just didn't fit the situation. And
right.
Like you said, if he was about to go to court or something, I understand the perception of a clean cut. But at the end of the day, with Kaepernick embracing his African-American side, the afro is actually a good look for him. Mm-hmm. Because a lot, people forget that Kaepernick is a mixed race individual. So him showing the afro is actually him embracing the African-American side and saying, hey, even though I'm on both sides here, I'm showing you that I'm with you. And if you go back in history, the afro represents part of the black power. So there he is again, showing that, hey, I'm part of this black community. Even though one of my parents are white, one of them are black, I'm still treated just like you. Because I have money don't mean that I'm not facing these same injustices as you. Money doesn't separate you from the cruelties of the world. It just puts you on a higher platform, and now people attack you in different ways. They try to attack your money versus just attacking you in the streets. So you still face the injustices as you go throughout life being black. So it's not just from the simple saying, oh, well, I got money, I'm not worried about it. Like Shannon Sharpe said, a lot of these people are not stepping up or taking responsibility, because until it actually affects you personally, you say, I'm not going to worry about it. It doesn't affect me. So when you're sitting back on top, you got all the money. If it's not affecting me, I'm not worried about it. But those are the people that we actually need to get involved, is the people that's sitting up high, that has the voice, that are able to have the profits and the means to support change. And until that happens, nothing will change. You know, we're one individual, but until we come together, that we'll not be able to make a change for the better.
And to Michael Vick's defense, he did come out later and said that he was wrong for what he said, and he didn't mean it in that way. So I'm glad to see that he has changed, you know, his opinion about that. And, you know, I also want to say this is with issues like this, I never want to say it's a black and white issue, because it's not all white people feel this way or all black people feel this way. Right. It's a right and wrong situation. What is right and what is wrong? And sometimes you can't do what's right and make money at the same time. And that's just a cruel reality. Sometimes you have to come to the point where you're going to make a lot of money or you're going to stand up for what is right. And I want to say there are a lot of white people, a lot of people that are not black, who are standing with Colin Kaepernick, who are going to be protesting along with everybody else who feels as though, yeah, it is absolutely wrong for police to be killing unarmed people, rather they are white, purple, black, whoever, killing unarmed people at the rate that they are doing for now, it seems, no particular reason in some of these cases, even though they are on video. So that's all Colin Kaepernick is saying, and it's not a white issue, it's not a black issue, it's about right or wrong. Okay, so if you are on hold, please continue to be on hold. We're going to take a quick break. We got to do some legal stuff here. And if you are not on hold, I need you to be on hold. Give us a call. Share your questions, your comments, your concerns. 823-9110, 823-9110. And I'm going to ask a different question here, okay? Not only if you are in support or not in support of Colin Kaepernick, but do you think that the protest was a good idea? Do you think it was a good idea? If not, what could he have done differently? What could Colin Kaepernick have done differently to stand up for what he believes in? 823-9110 is Hampton Roads Voices free agent on Hot 91.
Norfolk State University Broadcasting. WNSB, Norfolk, Chesapeake, 91.1 FM and HD1. Virginia's only full-time urban public radio station. Hot 91.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not those of Norfolk State University or WNSB FM. Thank you for listening. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now. Oh yes, and today's episode is entitled Free Agent, because we are talking about a particular free agent who is all over the news right now. Colin Kaepernick, former quarterback for the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, right? That team? Okay. Right. Making sure, because, you know, I am not a football fan, okay? But, so he took a kneel during the National Anthem last season, and ever since then, it's been, a downward spiral, seems like, but Colin looks like he has his head on right. Ever since then, he's been doing a whole lot of community service in the face of adversity, what it seems like. Now it's time to resign, and he has not been able to resign. That's hence the adversity I am talking about. A couple teams have showed interest in him, like the Baltimore Ravens, I believe the Seattle Seahawks at one point, the Miami Dolphins. But according to many sources, owners, in particular Steve Bisciotti of the Baltimore Ravens, have said, no, we're not going to take him, and of course ownership trumps the coaches. So that he's still a free agent. And I want to hear from you, Hampton Roads, okay? Do you agree with Colin Kaepernick and what he's doing? If you do or do not, what do you think some different type of protest he should have done? Even if you do agree with what he's doing, he probably should have did it a little different. What could that have been? Give us a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. And you've been waiting on the phone for a long time, so we're going to go ahead and put you through. Hi, 91, you're live in the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up? You're speaking with Marcus. How you doing?
Hey, Marcus, I'm doing well. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Well, I think that, first and foremost, he has every American right to do what he's doing. I don't think what he's doing is non-American, and a lot of people forget that Colin Kaepernick was actually raised by a Caucasian family, so it's not like this is just some pro-black rant that he's doing that only is supposed to cater to the freedom and justice of African Americans. Like you said earlier in the program, there's a lot of Caucasian Americans that stand by what he's doing. The problem is this. The NFL is in an uproar because the workhorse of the NFL, I mean, I hate to say it, is predominantly black or African American athletes. And if this causes, in what their eyes, a downward spiral, as you could see, a lot more people had started kneeling, even though no one's talking about that much anymore. They're afraid that there might be some protest or ban or strike, and African Americans come together, and that could really hurt this year's season. But I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think it's right and an American right to stand up for what you believe. So leave that man alone. He's got more talent than a lot of second-string quarterbacks in the league. Let him win. Let the man win. Let him stand up for what is right. That's why we're supposed to live in a free country. And I'm off my soapbox now.
Thank you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
One more caller. Hi, T1, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with? Hi, T1, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Dr. Lee.
Hi, Dr. Lee. Is this my aunt?
Sure is.
It's a family affair on the radio.
It sure is. My comment is, this is to your panel. I've heard a lot on the show about the NFL supporting him and other players, but what I haven't heard is what's the political take on this? This is a great chance. It's not election year or whatever, but this is a great chance for politicians to, jump in and give this young man some support. And that kind of worries me as Black America. I mean, we just had a black president. The 44th president of the United States was an Afro-American. And we all rallied behind him with support. But where is the Al Sharptons? Where is the Jesse Jacksons? Where are the people in the political arena that can make a difference? Why is no one stepping to support him? And that's what bothers me more about this than anything.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
She sounds so different on the radio. Try to put her radio voice on. But yes, I do agree. Where are the political figures that are going to stand behind him? We already know our president is not going to do that. Our current president isn't going to do it. But, I don't think this is a time for us just to sit silently and be like, he's doing a good thing, but he got it. I don't need to say nothing. No, if you have a platform, just like he used his platform, I think and we have seen other football players kneel with him. We need to use our platforms, especially those with bigger ones, our celebrities, our political figures, to come out and say, yes, I stand with him. Don't just think Colin got it by himself and let him take all of it by himself. This is an American thing. This is not just a black thing. This is an American thing. We all need to come together. All right. We got one more caller. Psych. No, we don't. Okay. All right. So let's continue the conversation. So with that being said, we need to come together. I think Skip Bayless had said something on his show. He suggested that perhaps the players need to come together, particularly of the teams that were going to sign him in the midst of the negotiations and things like that. I think he was referring to the Baltimore Ravens, that during this time when the coach was calling this person and that person and trying to figure out, hey, is this a good move? The players should have came together and said, hey, we're not going to play. We're not going to practice until you guys sign Colin Kaepernick. Now, granted, Skip did suggest, and I think the other people on the panel, Shannon Sharp, has suggested that, sometimes that these players and these coaches, their paycheck is on the line, their jobs are on the line, so they don't want to come against ownership. But over 70% of the NFL is black. The players, the machine, that's what, those players on the field are black men. Or not even just black men, because I said it's not a black and white thing. The other players too that are in agreement with Colin Kaepernick. Do you think, Noel and Shaka, if those players would have came together and said, hey, we're not going to play until you guys sign Colin Kaepernick because the team needs him, do you think that would have been effective or not?
Definitely would have been effective. Because they can't play without him. So definitely would have been effective if they all would have came together, and it would have looked really respectable, man. Just to see like them supporting him, because at the end of the day, I do understand, this is how those guys are feeding their families. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong, right is right, and you got to stand up for your brother, because the NFL is a fraternity. They're all one big family. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so I think it would have been effective if they would have did that.
Yeah, agreed. It would have been very effective, mainly from the standpoint that the owners wouldn't have been able to hide behind that he doesn't fit the team or he wouldn't make the team better, because now you have the player saying, "This is the guy we need. He will help us get over the hump." So if you're an owner and that's what you're sticking behind, that he doesn't make your team better, but yet your players are advocating for this guy that they believe will make their team better, then it would have been a positive output. And like Noel said, you can't play the game without the players.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have people afraid, oh, I'm under contract here. This might affect my contract. But that's where it comes with those big heads in the organization, your Joe Flacco's, your Suggs, the guys that have the veteran status. They step up and say, "Hey, man, this is what we need. We need this guy. Get it done." And the owners take that into consideration. And like Shannon Sharp said, never before have the owner reached out to all these different avenues to try to gain their insight. But if Ray Lewis would have said, "Yes, get this guy. We need him," because you said you're an advocate for the Ravens. If Ray Lewis would have simply said he wanted Kaepernick, I believe the owner would have got him. So, and in my opinion, based off what I've seen and heard from Ray has been trying to stay out of it, but he's been straddling the fence a little bit. But, Ray has a big voice in that Ravens organization. He brought them 2 championships, so he has a little clout around there. But the players putting themselves forward or banding together would have been great for Kaepernick. And like you said, there's been various people around the league that has been kneeling. But it's going to take a collective effort from everyone to actually hone in on what's actually going on in this country. And like Dr. Lee was talking about with the politicians, to my knowledge, the only person that has been joining him is Spike Lee. Spike Lee has been an advocate for years of the social injustices. So it was ideal that he would take part in what Kaepernick has done. Yeah, and I want to hear from you, Hampton Roads. What do you think about this controversy surrounding Colin Kaepernick? What could be done differently, or there's nothing to be done differently? Keep up the good work, Cap. I want to hear from you. 823-9110, 823-9110. And we talked about Ray Lewis, okay? Ray Lewis, he is another football player that came out and had some things to say, and a lot of media went crazy about it, especially the black community, because how dare he say something out of all people, because, back in the day, he had a murder charge? Yeah, murder charge. I think it was a murder charge and a couple other charges, if I'm not mistaken. But the big one was a murder charge, and know he needed support, and he needed to have somebody bring him back, into the NFL, and because it was looking kind of shaky, and he got that forgiveness, he got that second chance, and it's kind of disheartening, it's kind of disappointing seeing somebody like Ray Lewis, somebody like Michael Vick, who needed that second chance, not trying to give a second chance to a guy who's not even a felon and not even a criminal. It's crazy. Right. Yeah. So let's get to these phone lines. Hi, 921, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Brandy.
Hi, Brandy. What's your comment, question, or concern?
I just feel like it's very sad and disheartening that the NFL, even fellow players, could kind of shun their eyes on what's going on with him, because, like you just said, he's not a felon, he hasn't done anything, but he's standing up for the injustices that are going on, and they still continue to go on. But yet you have players who are felons, who are on video beating up their wives or girlfriends in the elevator, who have rape charges, allegations, all of this type of stuff, and he hasn't done anything wrong but stand up. And if more players did that and set aside thinking about what if I lose out on money, you're already rich. If you know what you're doing with your money and you're investing, you should not be worried about what if I lose out. You're doing something for a greater cause, for the smaller people who can't afford to quit their job. We don't have that platform to kneel at work. They won't care if we kneel at Walmart or, you know what I mean? Like, you have that platform, stand up and make a difference.
Thank you, Brandy.
You're welcome.
And we do have another call. Hi, 921, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Evelyn. How are you?
Hi, Evelyn. I'm doing well. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Well, I agree with Brandon wholeheartedly. I feel that the other players should have stand with him and had been more outspoken. As the old saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. And not only black players, but Caucasian players too, because for things to change, it's going to take blacks and Caucasian. It's going to take all people to make the change. Not only is the blacks sitting around and scared they're going to lose their money, but you got Caucasians who are sitting by and I'm looking for the outside in. But they need to take a stance too to make it right. And I pray for the young man, and just like I pray for my son, it is a problem in the United States, and it has to be reckoned with. Mm-hmm. And if you don't stand behind him, we're just going to go backwards and backwards.
Yeah.
I'm 62 years old. No, I'm 65. I've been around a long time. It's been the same thing over and over. And if you don't stand for something, I mean, Jews are still standing for the Holocaust. They're not going to let you forget that. So, but every time when blacks decide to do something, there's always a repercussion. I'm going to take this from you. I'm going to take this for that. So if we don't stand up, we're going to keep on going down.
Thank you for your...
That's the way I feel.
Thank you, Miss Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. I want to salute Colin's mother, if that's who instilled that into him, because I'm sure that man knew. I don't think he went into this blindly. I think he knew once he stopped sitting, or before he started sitting, once he moved from sitting to kneeling, he knew what was going to happen. Yeah, like he knew. So, man, I salute him. I take my hat off to him, because, you know, that's no easy task. I want to hear from you, Hampton Roads, 823-9110, 823-9110. When we return, I'm going to play an excerpt from Rob Parker. I believe that's what his name is, Rob Parker. He sat down with Undisputed, and yes, that is his name, Rob Parker. He sat down with the panel from Undisputed and shared his thoughts. And I want you to hear it. I really want you to hear it. And I also want to hear anybody who disagrees. Okay, we've been hearing a lot of people that's standing with Colin Kaepernick, and that's great. But you know, Hampton Roads Voices is about all types of opinions. You are entitled to your opinion, whether we agree with you or not. You will still be respected. Give me a call, 823-9110, 823-9110. And when we return, more about Colin Kaepernick and the controversy. It's Hot 91, Hampton Roads Voices. Hot 91, your choice for hip hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now, and we are talking about the free agent, Colin Kaepernick, and all the controversy that is surrounding him. Give us a call, 823-9110, because I want to hear your opinion. Do you think that the Colin Kaepernick protest is justified? Why or why not? Is it justified? Do you support him? Do you think that it's unnecessary? The NFL is not a good platform to do that on, and to share your social injustices and opinions and things of that nature. 823-9110, 823-9110. I want to hear from you, okay? So I have special guest experts on the phone who know about football and very knowledgeable, if I say so myself. Noel Clark. He's a former starter of Norfolk State University football and a current arena professional football player. And I also have Shaka Miller here, former assistant head coach for Kings Fork High School varsity football. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
What's up? How you doing? What's up?
Yes. So let's head back into this conversation. Let's weigh the pros and cons of a team taking Colin Kaepernick, okay? What do you think the cons will be, Noel, and then I'll throw the pros to Shaka. What's the... Yeah, go ahead, Noel.
For cons, I think as far as like the football side of it, you know, he's not really that well developed in his passing ability. He's a great dual-threat quarterback, but passing ability, he kind of makes bad decisions at times, inconsistent at best sometimes. But last season he did really well as far as the interception to touchdown ratio. But in that aspect, I think he's pretty inconsistent with that. But on the political side, I feel like, you know, you're gonna get, you know, the people that, you know, like Shaka was saying, that buy like the big the box seats and everything like that, the booths and all that. You're gonna get those higher ups that's gonna dispute everything, and it's gonna be some of these people fans, like, you know, the season ticket holders and stuff like that. But I mean, if that's all you have to deal with, in spite of, doing the right thing as far as signing somebody that you need on the team, then I really don't look at it as a con. But I mean, at the end of the day, that'll probably be like the cons that you have to deal with.
Okay, as far as the pros, the main thing would be you would have a dual threat quarterback who has been a starter before, who's established, who can produce at a high level on the big stage. So you will be gaining an asset to whichever organization he goes to. You will also, in the community eyes, will represent a team that actually supports or acknowledges that, yes, there is social injustices going on, and we are adamant about changing these things. So from the community standpoint, they will actually rally behind you and actually bring in more revenue. So even if you happen to lose the big dogs or the people with the old money, you might be able to bring in new people. So in my opinion, there are more pros than cons, because now you're passing on a guy that could possibly help your team win, because at any given moment your starter could go down at any given moment. And it's always a next man up mentality when you're dealing with sports. So why not have the next best guy available to be that next man up versus settling for someone that shouldn't even be on your roster because he comes with no baggage, and the baggage being someone that's standing up for the rights of all. If we say we live in the land of the free, then it should be free for all, not free for some.
823-9110, 823-9110. I want to hear from you, Hampton Rose. What do you feel about the Colin Kaepernick controversy? Do you think the protest was a good idea? We see the results from all of this. Do you think what he did was a good idea? And should it have made a difference? And not the difference that we're seeing now as far as all of this backlash that he is getting. Fellas, so we know that a lot of people are planning to boycott the NFL because of their decision to not sign Colin Kaepernick. Do you think that the morality and the ethics of the NFL should be in question? Do you think that they looking kind of funny in the light? Or do you think, it's really the owners and not so much the whole entire league, if that makes sense?
I was just saying that. You go ahead, though, Shaka.
Okay. Actually, since the owners actually represent the league, because the NFL, aside from the owners, are just a bunch of corporate individuals that deal with marketing and things of that nature. But the owners and the team actually make up the NFL. I actually would say you do need to take those things into consideration for the simple fact that you have your murderers, your domestic violence individuals, all these guys being penalized minimally and still getting contracts. Yet you have someone who's doing things the right way, who's taking a stand for the right of all, but yet he's being shunned. And as far as the protesting of the NFL, I think it would make a big impact, but I don't think the message that Kaepernick is trying to send would actually be promoted by going against the NFL itself, because he's not protesting the NFL. He's protesting the social injustices of the world or our communities. So if it was the standpoint of him saying, hey, NFL, I want you to help me fight this battle, and they said no, then I will understand the ban of the NFL. But that's not the case in this situation. He just used the platform of the NFL because it's a highly watched sport. It's probably the most watched sport in the world next to soccer when you look at it on a global standpoint. And using that platform to push your agenda was a great idea. So I wouldn't really ban the NFL per se, but I would feel some type of way that the NFL hasn't came out and voiced their opinion on the situation. And Shannon Sharp made a remark to that as well in the clip that, hey, the guy never said that the NFL or his team feels that he's right. They was simply just saying, well, this is what he did, this is why we're not going to take him, but they never addressed the real issue at hand, and that's the social injustice of what's going on for the rights of all.
Go ahead, Noel.
Yeah, I agree. I think the NFL doesn't really play a major part. It's also the owners, because they're in control of who gets signed as far as like the GMs and everything like that. So, I mean, as far as the ethics part goes, I definitely think it's something going on as far as like the political side of what they're trying to avoid and not signing him.
All right. And we do have a phone call. We want to keep the phone calls going. 823-9110, 823-9110. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this Colin Kaepernick whole ordeal? Okay, I'm going to press a new question now. Should professional players separate their professions with their social beliefs, with their social causes, with their social justice, rallies and things of that nature? Should that be kept separate? What do you think, Hampton Roads? 823-9110. Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, 91, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
I'm talking to B from Hampton.
What's up? What's your comment, question, or concern?
Yeah, I kind of like that last question you just said too, though. I kind of feel like I think people that's in those situations that are on that platform should be speaking about it, because if you don't, then what voice do we have? Like, I hate the fact that they're trying to shun it or shade it to the side. Like, nah, just get your money and be quiet. Don't take the hush money. If you feel like it's an injustice, then say something. Like, don't get lynched in front of everybody. What they're really doing is making an example. When you stand up for minorities, they're making an example of you, so nobody else wants to stand up for anything that's going on. So that's how they keep everything in check, and it's been going on like that for generations now. And people have to understand that. Like, I hate that it's going on like that. And we also need, I say it like this, but we also need people, and like white people too, Indians, whatever, because we're in such a small amount percentage of people, to stand up too. If you mess with black people and you listen to rap music and you got friends, you go to cookouts, you should be voicing your opinion of what's going on. Stand up with us too. Don't sit back and take your L and act like you're not supposed to do something if you have black friends. Like, I don't want you around me if you just don't want to say anything or don't want to do anything, because you're a culture virtue to me. Like, basically, you're just soaking up our culture up, but you don't want to stand with us and fight our fight with us. Don't do that. That's annoying.
He's shaking the table.
Agreed.
He is shaking the table.
Fair weather friend. Fair weather.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll continue to shake this table, okay? I like a little table shaking. 823-9110, 823-9110. Do you think that professional players, celebrities, anybody who has a very high platform, do you think that they should separate their professions from their social beliefs and their causes? When we come back, I'm going to play this clip from Rob Parker. He was on Undisputed, and he shared his comment and his opinion about what's happening with Colin Kaepernick. One more time, 823-9110, 823-9110. Let's get these phone lines ringing. Make sure you keep it locked. This episode is entitled Free Agent on Hot 91. Hot 91, your choice for hip-hop and R&B soul. Hampton Roads Voices is live right now, and we're discussing Colin Kaepernick. Tonight's episode is entitled Free Agent, and Colin has been unable to successfully secure a contract with, the re-signing season, if you will. He had at least 3 teams that were looking at him, but because of his choice to protest against a couple of things, he's had a cloud around him that some say that is unnecessary. He doesn't need to have a cloud of like shame, or he's like walking around with the scarlet letter on him, like, no, he can't be touched. So yeah, I want to hear from you, Hampton Roads. 823-9110, 823-9110. Do you think that people with high platforms like professional players, celebrities, things of that nature, do you think that they should keep their professions separate from their social beliefs and their causes? Let me know. 823-9110. We have Shaka Miller on the show today as a special guest expert. He's a former assistant head coach for Kings Fork high school varsity football. And I also have Noel Clark here, former 2013-2014 starter of the Norfolk State University football and current arena professional football player. All right. We do have a phone call. We'll take that and then we'll continue with the conversation. Hi, 91. You're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
This is Charles. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Charles. What's your comment, question, or concern?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to say that I don't feel that Colin Kaepernick is being blackballed. I feel as though he's being whiteballed because there's no black owners in the NFL.
All right.
And as far as his ability to play, of course he can play. If you rate his efficiency compared to some of the non-African American quarterbacks in the NFL, he rates very highly some of the guys who already have a job, and they're not necessarily African American. So if you ask my opinion, I think that people should galvanize around Colin Kaepernick because he's standing for a cause. I mean, as I've heard continuously throughout the week and month, how the NFL has rallied around players with questionable backgrounds. This man hasn't done anything but stand up for a cause. And I am totally disappointed in other NFL players who have not taken up the mantle with this man, because there's no reason why he should not be playing in the NFL. So I think that here again, divide and conquer. When players need to come together for calls such as this, which I feel is very important, they're missing the point. Granted, everybody has their opinion, true, but when you're talking about racism, the treatment of people of all colors, whether they black, white, Indian, Asian, poor whites, whatever, this man is standing for a cause. And for other players in the NFL not to really realize exactly what's going on is a disgrace. And that's my opinion.
Thank you. I appreciate your comment.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's bigger than him. I think that's what the caller was saying. It's bigger than Colin being defiant. It's bigger than black people always complaining about something. It's bigger than that. What he's saying is, I'm taking my platform and I'm taking a stance for what I believe in. That his particular stance was, police brutality. Unarmed black men should not be beat down, killed in the street. But if you take a bigger look at it, at the bigger picture, all of this is an American issue. It is an American issue. So if America doesn't care about police brutality, then America won't care about, Indian or Native American issues, or they won't care about economic issues that affect more than one color. Poor people don't have no color. It's poor people, things of that nature. So I really appreciate his comment. I'm going to play this Rob Parker comment, and then we can have a conversation about it. Rob Parker was speaking with the panel from Undisputed on ESPN. Take a listen.
I think this is like one of the worst things, and not that Kaepernick deserves this or a job, or just from the idea of a guy who hasn't done anything wrong other than that. That's the part. The other guys who took part in the protest, they're working. It can't be that. Stop it with fans don't want to buy tickets, and no, they're looking at him. He was the face of it, and we're going to punish you. And we're going to tell you, and you're right. All the other guys in the league, just look at what happened. You better not step out of line. The next time you do that, we'll do the same thing to you. And it bothers me the most that Stephen Ross, and I'm going to call him out for this. Stephen Ross was the guy who, when his players did it, was in the locker room and said, I support my guys. They have a right to do it.
The only one I know who did that.
The only one. Michigan guy, right? Ann Arbor, the whole 9 yards, Stephen Ross. And when push came to shove and the moment stood up for him to stand out and be different from those other guys, you know what he did? He swung and missed. He passed. And that stuff that Stephen Ross said a year ago means nothing to me now, because the real opportunity would have been for Stephen Ross at this moment to say, not only did I support what my guys did at that time, we need a quarterback. I'd gladly take Colin Kaepernick because he's the best guy available, best guy out there. And that protest stuff doesn't mean anything to me. He didn't do it. And it bothers me that, of all places, he didn't follow through.
Rob Parker there discussing and expressing his opinion about the Colin Kaepernick controversy on Undisputed. What do you guys think about that? Shaka, Noel?
Actually, I didn't hear it at all.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
No. That's probably my fault because of the technical difficulties, but no worries. Shaka, what do you think about it?
I think he's absolutely right. And it comes a time where the individuals that have the ability to make a difference have to come forth. And like you said, Mr. Ross there, it was his opportunity to say, hey, we need this guy. This is the best guy available. We have to take him. But it lets you know that because the NFL has decided to cut the head of the snake, he started it. So if you cut the head off, the body will die. They're setting the precedent that, hey, if you do this is what's going to happen. But what needs to happen is that the process needs to continue. Folks need to continue to kneel or express themselves. Have some people raising the fist, the Black Power thing, all that. So Mr. Parker was 100%. He hit the nail right on the head with that one. And I agree with his statements wholeheartedly. Okay, so wrapping up the show here. In your opinion, fellas, what can the community do? Little old fans like you and me, that are not buying the booths, or even those who are buying the booths, fans all together. What can we do to rally and support Colin Kaepernick during this hard time?
Pray for him, man. Definitely pray for him that he find some kind of employment, even if it's not in the NFL, whether it be CFL or just a job. Period. Mainly for him to get back in the NFL, but I think also we can keep doing the right thing. As far as talking to the younger kids about expressing to them, what to do when they're in the presence of the law, conducting yourself correctly, and things of that nature, just supporting his message.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. You have to continue to support him. Talking about it is part of it, but we actually must do things. One of the things he was done was donating money to charities to actually support the cause, and we must continue to raise awareness and teach the younger generation, hey, this is how things have been. This is how it should be. And until we get to that point, then we as a nation will continue to be in turmoil and fighting against one another. The injustice has been around since the beginning of this country. And until we together take action, not just the blacks or the minority, but the country as a whole take a part in this action, then there will never be change, real change. And the change must start with you as an individual before you can actually see change within your community. And just to touch on the last question about should the beliefs be separate from the profession, in my opinion, it can't be. Mainly because as a professional in that light, your personal life is part of your professional life. Until the media can separate the two, then you can't expect me to separate my personal beliefs from my profession, because if you're going to include them all in one and the same, then it has to be that way all the time. It can't be, well, if I want to bring it up, it's good, but you can't bring it up yourself. And if this is how I feel, I got to use my platform to support change. Yeah. Now, there is a protest that will be held August the 23rd in New York City outside of the NFL headquarters. It is, I don't know who it is organized by, but it has some celebrities like Spike Lee who are standing behind it. I guess just Google it to find out more information if you want to travel and protest and you think that'll be, something that will help Kaepernick and shed light on what he is protesting. Now, fellas, really quick, tell me your advice to Kaepernick. If you were speaking directly to him, if we had him on the show, what would be your advice for him from here on out?
See it through, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. Just continue to be the best person that you could be as far as what you started, and continue to donate to the charities, and just mainly, man, just keep doing what he's doing, man, because this had to happen. This part of history, somebody had to do it, and he just happened to be the one to do it. So I feel like he should just keep on going. Agreed. I'll tell him, keep up the good fight. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue to bring others into the fight with you. Because he's on that platform where he is able to reach these high profile individuals. Someone like me, I don't have the connections to get the high profile guy, but he does. So if he can continue to bring those individuals in with him, then we will eventually begin to see change. But it's always going to start with the high profile, and it's going to work his way down, because those are the people that
ultimately have the say. You know, they say money rules the world, and in some instances it does. So those with the money, if they start becoming activists for change, then change will occur.
Keep your head up, Cap. Keep your head up. All right. I want to thank my guest for today, Shaka Miller, former assistant head coach for Kingsford High School varsity football, and Noel Clark, former starter of Norfolk State University football. Behold, and he's a current arena professional football player. Thank you, guys. Also, thank you, Hampton Roads, for listening, for sharing your thoughts, your opinions. This show is nothing without you calling in and sharing your opinion. If you missed some of the show, you can always go back on our YouTube channel to check out past shows and even this show. Just click, no, not click anything. Type in Hampton Roads Voices on YouTube, and our channel shall pop up. Please subscribe. And also listen again on Sunday afternoon, 12 noon, for a rerun of this show. Thank you for listening. It's Hampton Roads Voices on Hot 91. The views and opinions expressed on this program are not those of Norfolk State University or WNSB FM. Thank you for listening.